Hello everyone, welcome back to Excel 2016 training. In this video, we are going to take a look at print scaling. Scaling helps you configure the number of columns and number of rows that gets printed onto a single page. Meaning, by default, you might see that the print preview is showing that it would print let's say 5 or 6 columns, and you want to kind of print about 10 columns in there, but you might compromise on the size of the font, but you will get all 10 columns onto the page. So that's what is scaling. You can increase and decrease depending on your need. You can get to scaling from multiple places, but I'm going to show you a couple of options and then take you to the print preview and actually show you the impact of scaling, and that should cover all 3 spots. Say to start with, let's go to page layout. We are already there, and then there is a scaling factor here. It says 100%, so it's stretch or shrink your printout to a percentage of its actual size. So by default, let's say we want to look at how this document gets printed. Let's say we want to take a look at it. Let's change it to landscape. That's fine. Let's go home, file, print, and we have from employee ID all the way through date of hire, and we have 18 pages. So go back here. Let's say we want to add more columns to our page. So that means we have to decrease in order to add more columns. Let's say we want to take it to 80%. When we do that, let's see what happens. So now we have department in addition at the end here, right? In the previous view, we only had, we had all the way up to date of hire. Now we have the department as well. Let's go kind of tweak it a little bit and see if we can get all the columns. Let me drop it down to 60 and then go to file, print. Now looks like I have all the columns. So now if I print this document, I'll get 6 pages, and I have all the columns on every page. So after the last row, there are no more pages that it would print. Let's go back there. So we used page layout, and then we went to scale to fit and adjusted the scale percentage to control the number of columns that gets printed onto the page. Now the next thing is you can go to view and then go to page break preview. Now from here you can play with it. Let me first reset everything. Let me go to file, print, and let's do no scaling. Of course, you can do that from a different spot as well, which we saw in the previous video. You can go to, so using breaks and reset all page breaks will pretty much reset everything for you. So from here, as you can see, this will print about 18 pages, and on the very first page, or these initial 9 pages, you don't have all columns, right? It's printing all the way to the date of hire, and then you're printing the remaining columns in the other pages. The target is to shrink everything and bring everything onto one page. If we use the rightmost blue line and drag it to the left, what we did was we asked Excel to exclude these columns, so it will only print about 9 pages if I'm correct. So it will not print these columns here. Instead, if you drag this out to the right, now it's back normal. Now take this one, move it all the way to the right. Now what happened is, you have page 1 and you have all the columns. Now this will have the same impact of 60% what we did here. It's about 63, you can see here the scale. If you go to the print, file, print, you'll see those 6 pages. Now, as you can see, all columns are being printed on a page. Let's go back, and that's about scaling. So you can scale it using these blue lines, moving around the way you like it, or adjusting the scale, and you can nicely check that using the file print preview. Now say for example, let me go back here and reset everything. So back to normal. You can go to file, print, and from here you can tell that it only prints a subset of columns, and then it has about 18 pages, and we know that there are more than these columns that you see. In order to play with scaling while you're on this print preview, you do have an option which is under settings. It's the very last one. It says no scaling right now. You pull that down and then say fit sheet on one page, which actually doesn't make any sense. It's trying to put the whole worksheet onto one page. It's not useful. You can use the next option, which is fit all columns on one page. This is close to what we did before, that's 63%. Now what it did was it nicely scaled down to fit all columns in one sheet, and it's just printing those 6 sheets for you. So again, it all depends on the number of columns you have, amount of data you have. Again, if you have some charts, some pie diagrams, this whole thing will change. But the point here is I just want to show you how you can scale and control your printing. Well, that's it about scaling. I'll see you in the next video.